Warning, this video discusses disturbing themes and imagery from the film Nope, including animal violence, trauma, and exploitation, as well as a fictional scene of a chimpanzee attack that may be distressing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Jordan Peele's Nope is many things. A sci-fi thriller, a neo-western, a creature feature, a dark satire, and of course, it's unmistakably a Jordan Peele film. Layered, deliberate, and dense with metaphor. But despite, or maybe because of, its genre-bending ambition, Nope is one of the most misunderstood modern movies in recent memory.
While there are some great ideas thrown in there, I don't think they're developed well enough, and it can come across quite messy at times.
This movie sucked.
What was the meaning behind that shoe standing straight up that we saw twice in those flashback scenes in Nope?
I just don't get it.
Many audiences walk away baffled, unsure what to make of its scattering themes, long silences, or the subplot involving a chimpanzee on a 90s sitcom. Some dismissed it as confusing, even disjointed. But that confusion comes not from the film being vague, it comes from audiences misreading what it's really about. But before we dive into why Nope is so misunderstood, let's summarize the plot to further understand its message. Set in a remote Californian desert, Nope follows siblings OJ and Emerald Haywood, owners of a struggling Hollywood horse wrangling business. After their father dies in a bizarre accident, seemingly caused from falling debris from the sky, they begin to notice strange occurrences around their ranch. Lights flickering, animals going missing, and something moving in the clouds. Soon they realize they're dealing with a living creature, an alien predator hiding in plain sight, using its shape-shifting form to blend into the sky. Rather than running, OJ and Emerald team up with a tech-savvy retail worker and a reclusive cinematographer to try and capture definitive footage of the entity, what they call the Oprah shot. But what begins as an attempt at survival quickly becomes a reflection on exploitation, trauma, and the cost of turning horror into a spectacle. At its core, Nope is a movie about our obsession with watching, about the price we pay and the lines we cross in pursuit of a moment that might make us famous. But it's also a movie about animals, how we misunderstand them, mistreat them, and exploit them for our own gain. Which brings us to the most disturbing and misunderstood scene in the entire movie. The Gordy scene. A flashback so jarring in tone and content that many viewers dismissed it as disconnected or irrelevant. But in reality, this sequence is the emotional and thematic core of the entire film. We learned that in the 90s, a sitcom called Gordy's Home featured a chimpanzee, Gordy, as a lovable TV character. But then one day during the taping, some balloons started popping, which the loud sounds triggered Gordy's primal instincts. He goes on a rampage, mauling cast and crew. The audience never sees the violence directly, but we hear it. And more disturbingly, we see what comes after. Gordy, bloodied, dazed, walking around the set with the same confusion and fear as any traumatized creature. The only surviving child actor, Ricky Jupe Park, hides under a table, terrified. And just as Gordy reaches out for a fist bump, a signature move between him and Jupe, he's shot dead. As an adult, Jupe has buried the trauma, not by healing, but by exploiting it. He builds a Western-themed park and literally puts the Gordy tragedy in a secret room, a shrine filled with memorabilia, costumes, and even the blood-stained shoe that stood upright during the attack. But Jupe doesn't tell the story as a survivor of violence. He tells it like a fanboy.
You haven't seen the Bad Gordy sketch on SNL? I mean, I pretty much nailed it better than I could.
He remembers the SNL parody more vividly than the actual carnage. His trauma has become a punchline, a story he can sell.
Are you ready?
And now Jupe is repeating the same mistake, only this time, instead of a chimp, it's something extraterrestrial. He's discovered an alien life form, and instead of fearing it, studying it, or respecting it, he tries to domesticate it, perform with it, sell tickets to see it. And just like with Gordy, it ends in blood. Jordan Peele isn't subtle here. Gordy and Jean Jacket are mirrors. beings with their own rules, instincts, and boundaries, broken when humans try to force them into the role of entertainment. Jupe didn't learn. He turned trauma into content, and it destroyed him. But here's the contrast. OJ and Emerald. Their family business is also rooted in animals, but their approach is based on respect. OJ doesn't force Lucky to perform. He watches his body language, he warns people not to look horses in the eye, and he treats animals as partners, not props. It's this respect, this understanding of boundaries that allows OJ to survive. He sees Jean Jacket not as a spectacle, but as a creature. He doesn't try to tame it, he tries to coexist with it. And that's what ultimately gives them a chance at survival. Still, even the Haywoods get pulled into the gravity of spectacle, the need to get the shot, to show the world to be believed. The line between bearing witness and profiting off something dangerous becomes razor thin. Nowhere is this more obvious than with the TMZ paparazzo.
Who's this asshole?
After he crashes his bike, severely injured, he doesn't ask for help. He screams,
"Where's my camera? Hey, where's my camera? Do you see it?"
even as he's dying. In Nope, fame matters more than survival. Spectacle is everything. By the end of Nope, Jean Jacket is destroyed. But Peele doesn't offer easy answers. The real enemy was never just the villain. It was us. Our compulsion to dominate, to record, to consume, to exploit. Nope isn't vague. It's confronting. It forces us to examine our craving for entertainment, especially when that entertainment comes at the expense of something or someone who didn't ask to be a part of the show. So the next time you watch Nope, don't ask what it means. Ask what it's trying to warn you about.